I put over 100 hours into Marathon, and I need to talk about it because my opinion has completely changed from when I first started. I went from almost refunding this game to not being able to stop playing it. And I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, what this game gets right that nobody's talking about, and what's seriously wrong with it. And at the end, I'm going to tell you something about Marathon's future that I think is going to surprise a lot of people. Now, let me explain. Here's the thing that nobody told you about Marathon. Those first 10 hours are god awful. And I mean genuinely bad. When I first downloaded this game and I loaded in, I had no idea what I was doing. I died in the first 2 minutes. I couldn't get a single kill, I feel, for that whole day. Lost all my gear. And then I sat there just, did I just waste my money? And it happened again and again and again. This game gives you absolutely nothing. No real tutorial, no explanation of how the economy works, no guidance on what loadout to use or where to go. You're just dropped in and you're expected to just figure everything out while everything else around you is already running optimized builds and wiping your squad, and it seems like everyone else just has it together but you. And I think that's exactly why every big streamer just played Marathon for 2 hours and called it dead on arrival. They loaded in, they got destroyed, they didn't understand the loop, and they just moved on. And honestly, I almost did the same thing. I even had the refund page opened at one point. I'm not even kidding. But something told me to keep going, and around hour 10 or 11, something changed. I had one really good on perimeter where everything just went right. I started to find what was good loot back then, and my build was working, and I just got into a fight with another squad and had that clutch feeling, and it felt great. I extracted with a full bag, and my hands were literally shaking, and I was yelling in the mic at my friends on Discord. It was a lot of fun. But that was the moment when I understood what this game actually is. The problem is that most people never get to that moment, and that's on Bungie. It's not really the player's fault. But I need you to hear me that if you quit this game early, you quit before the game even started. Got one.
Ooh. On me.
Two. Now let me tell you what made me fall in love with this game, and it's something that I don't think gets enough credit. The movement system in Marathon is the best I've ever played in any extraction shooter, and I'm not saying that lightly. I've played Tarkov for hundreds of hours, I've played the Clyde, I've played every extraction shooter you can name, but none of them feel like this. The way that you can slide into a mantle, chain that into an ability, and come out the other side of a gunfight, it's almost like Bungie took everything they learned from Destiny's movement and just turned it up. And here's what I mean. Think about when you're playing Assassin, you're cloaked behind a full squad, pull your knife, and you take out 2 people before they even turn around. Then you can actually have this ability where you can smoke bomb out before the 30 can even react. Like, that doesn't exist anywhere. That sequence of events is impossible in Tarkov. It's impossible in any other extraction shooter. But Marathon lets you do the thing that feels like movie movements, and it happens in every single session, so you can't just get enough of it.
Told you.
And the gunplay, it matches it. When you land headshots in this game, you literally feel it. The weapons have the weight, the time to kill sits in perfect sweet spot where it's fast enough to punish bad positioning, but it's slow enough that you can actually kind of outplay someone who shot first. And most games get that balance kind of wrong, but I think Marathon did that just right. I'm personally 100 hours into the game right now, and the movement alone is the reason that I just keep coming back. It is so good.
Got them both.
Here's something that's criminally underrated about Marathon: the map design. Everyone's busy arguing about whether the game is dead, and no one's stopping to actually appreciate how good these maps actually are. Outpost is one of the best PvP maps I've ever played on any game in years, and not just extraction shooters, any game. The tight corridors, the pinwheel area where every squad just converges and there's always chaos in there. Every single game on Outpost plays different because there's so many routes and angles to work with. I truly, really love this. Then you have Dire Marsh, which is the complete opposite. It's open, it's slow, it's gonna punish you for sprinting around like it's Call of Duty. There's usually snipers all the time, at least from my experience. I hated Dire Marsh for my first 50 hours. Couldn't stand it, but once I learned how to actually play it, long range weapons, patience, picking my fights, it became one of my favorites, and that's the beauty. The map forces you to change how you play. You can't just run the same layout on every map. You can't just play the same way. That keeps the game fresh in a way that a lot of people just don't appreciate. Do we need more maps? Absolutely. 2 main maps, they start to feel terrible after about 100 hours put into the game, but the quality, that's what's elite. If Bungie keeps this standard with new maps, we're in for something truly special. Okay, so here's the thing that's going to separate Marathon from every other game in this genre, and I need you to really hear me on this. The class system and the builds in this game actually have a depth that most players really haven't even scratched the surface of yet. You're not just picking up a gun and loading in, You're choosing a runner with a specific ability kit. You're pairing it with the right weapons that complement that kit and creating a playstyle around that build. And when you think of the right combination, you just notice everything starts to click together and the game really transforms. I've been running Assassin for about 100 hours and I'm still finding new ways that the build works. I posted a knife build on this channel and it blew up because people didn't even know that they could play that way. There are combinations in this game that are completely broken. No one's figured them out yet, and this should excite you regardless of however many hours that you have into this game. But here's another main problem, is that the game tells you absolutely none of this. There is no build guide in the menus. There's no recommended loadouts. There's no way to see what other players are running. You either experiment for 50 hours or you go to Reddit or come to YouTube. And that's fun for people like me who love theory crafting, but for a casual player who just wants to know what gun to use, it's seriously a real barrier for those new players. Bungie needs to make this build system visible without dumbing it down. Show players what's possible without holding their hand, because right now the best part of Marathon is hidden behind a learning curve that most people won't bother climbing, and that's truly a waste. But when you do find your build, that one fit exactly how you want to play, the game goes from something that you can't stop thinking about, at least for me it did. I theory craft loadouts when I'm eating breakfast, and that's when you know the game has truly something special. Alright, so I love this game, but I'm not going to sit here all day and just pretend that it's perfect, because it's not. And some of these problems are really serious. The first and most important is the new player experience. I've already talked about this enough, but I cannot stress it. This is the number one thing that's going to kill Marathon if Bungie does not fix it. The game is losing new players every single day because they load in, they get destroyed, and they have no idea what happened. And then they just uninstall. A proper tutorial system, a guided mission, anything that teaches the basics before just throwing someone into a massive competitive PvP world, this needs to exist soon. Not next quarter, soon. Second, weapon balance. I know everyone says this in every game, but it's Marathon, it's actually a real issue. There are weapons that are so dominant right now that running anything else just feels like you're handicapping yourself. And there are weapons that are so bad that I haven't even seen a single person even use them after the first week. This meta needs to be wider. Give people a reason to experiment. Right now, the build diversity at a higher level is just way too narrow. Third, the economy feels off. You can have a legendary run, you can survive 3 squad fights, extract the best loot in the game, and the payout does not match the risk you just took. Then you do a quick in and out safe run and make almost the same amount. Why would I risk everything when playing safe is the same? The economy needs to reward aggressive playstyle more. High risk should mean high reward. Right now, I just not getting the feel for that. And fifth, content. This is the big one long term. 100 hours in, I'm starting to feel the ceiling. We need more maps, more weapons, more runners, more different types of contracts, more reasons to keep grinding. The foundation Bungie built is incredible, but a foundation without a house is just concrete. So if they go quiet for 2 months and they don't drop new content, people are just gonna leave. Not because the game is bad, because they've seen everything it's had to offer, so the clock is really ticking on this one. Here's the part that surprised me the most, and honestly, it's the reason I'm most optimistic about Marathon's future. It's the community. The people who are still playing this game at 100 plus hours, they love it. And it's not casually, they really love it. The Discord servers are popping, people are sharing builds, everyone loves to help new players out. Clips are being posted, they're theory crafting the best loadouts together, and there's barely any toxicity. You know how rare that is? Go spend 5 minutes in a Tarkov forum or a Call of Duty lobby and then come hang out in a Marathon Discord. It's feeling like night and day right now. I started a YouTube channel and a Discord server around Marathon, and the response has genuinely shocked me. People are hungry for content, hungry for guides, and hungry for builds. The community wants this game to succeed, and the energy is really contagious. And here's the thing that people forget. Communities save games. Helldivers almost died and the community carried it. Deep Rock Galactic was a small indie game that exploded because players just wouldn't shut up about it. No Man's Sky literally came back from the dead because the community stuck around. Marathon has that same energy. This tiny but passionate group of players who still believe in what this game could be. The question is whether Bungie meets them halfway with updates, communication, and content. Because the players are doing their part, it's now Bungie's move. I told you at the start I was going to say something about Marathon's future that might surprise you. So here it is. I think Marathon is going to have a massive second wave, and I don't think it's going to be right now, not next month, but sometime the next 6 months to a year, Bungie is going to drop one major update, like a new map, a new runner, or a big balance patch, maybe even a seasonal event, and a big streamer is going to pick it back up, and when that happens, all those people who refunded it or never gave it a real shot are going to come flooding back. We've seen this happen over and over with Rainbow Six Siege, considered a flop at launch, and now it's one of the biggest shooters in the world. Fortnite almost died before Battle Royale saved it. The games that survive the rough launches and keep building. Those are the ones that actually become legends. I'm not saying Marathon is guaranteed to be the next Siege, but I'm saying the ingredients are there, the movement is best in this class, and the gunplay is so satisfying. The build system has depth, and the community is passionate. All Bungie has to do is just not give up. 100 hours in, I'm personally not going anywhere, and I think a year from now, a lot of people are going to say they wish they started playing when they did. That's my honest take. 100 hours into the game, no sugarcoating. But what's your take on Marathon? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if you're new here, I post builds, guides, and tips every week that's actually going to make you better at this game. So hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you want to see a knife build that's absolutely broken right now, click this video right here, and I'll see you in the next video.